Damon Laffin. He is an incredible lawyer, a former podcaster, a husband, a dad times two, a former poster boy for the College of Law, and a total legal nerdburger. Why did you get into law? Like, what's the interest in law?
Even once I started the Odyssey Legal firm, there's still probably a little bit of imposter syndrome, but it hit earlier this year that I'd get letters from other lawyers that were just rubbish or a waste of their clients' money. And I'm like, oh, maybe I actually know what I'm doing.
There must be a part of you that's just like, God, that poor person who spent thousands on this lawyer and they're just a fucking idiot.
Yeah, there's even been cases where I'm like, this is so bad, I won't even charge for it. There's been so many times where rather than attacking the case, you try and separate the client from their lawyer or put a wedge between them to push for a resolution.
One case that you've dealt with for me, and we just let the other person get really emotional and then just kind of like let it weaponize against them. And I was like, they've been their own undoing. I've loved watching you do this. I'm like, it's so good.
I slowly realized that I don't want to do criminal law. Seeing the underbelly and, pulling back that curtain of what actually goes on behind the scenes is just wild. You can't make mistakes, otherwise you cost this person hundreds of thousands of dollars, or you screw this up and you'd be sued. That's a lot of pressure.
This podcast is being recorded on Gubby Gubby land. We pay our respects to the traditional custodians of this land, our country, and elders past and present. I am Caitlin Muir, and thanks again for tuning into this week's episode of Tell Me About It podcast. Today I have my friend Damon Laffin, and he is an incredible lawyer, a former podcaster, a husband, a dad times two, a former poster boy for the College of Law, and a total legal nerdburger, which we love. And I'm just really excited to pick his brain today and learn about his life and his business and everything that he does too. You'll probably learn this when you listen along too. I invited Damon in today because I think we're polar opposites, but we're also so similar on so many things. I just love young, cool people doing awesome shit, doing great business. And I just think you have a lot of powerful insights that I know my clients and my listeners would love to learn from. I also love weird people. You're a bit of a weird person.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Touched by the tism a little bit, aren't we, Damon?
Yeah. I've got the shredder over there. I like to set that off every so often.
So I met you at a Kingmaker social event. Shout out Carlo, who's introduced me to some really fucking cool people. And we were sat opposite each other, and I feel like we just got into the weirdest conversations about the most trivial things, got a little bit lit, and it was really, really fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think that's why he did it in the first place, just to put good people in the room together, so see what happens.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm really excited, and thanks for having me on.
No worries. So you are the owner of and the founder of Odyssey Legal, and how long have you been in business for?
Was it 14 months now? I opened it up in August last year. Don't mind my little self-promotion in the background.
No, promote away.
I've pretty much reached a stage where at my last job, I felt like I was hitting a ceiling. We had discussed coming on board as a director, but I feel like it was more of just a dangle the carrot to keep me kind of happy rather than actually taking any proper steps to get me on board. So eventually, it was a big kick up the backside from my partner, Lily, who actually helped me press the resignation email and send it out. Basically just said, nah, screw it, let's just go out on your own.
Fuck yeah. And we love a pushy partner that just gets on board. Cam blindly supports me, and it's the best thing ever. And I do that for him too. I'm like, off you go, walk the plank, go.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. That's what you want in a partner.
100%. Hey,
yeah.
We also we have so much to go through today, like family business. I want to learn more about, about Odyssey Legal and just like all of the things. But before we deep dive into your career and I guess your journey to where you are, I fucking love the weird stuff. So I love picking this stuff apart. You're into wolves.
Yeah, I can't really explain where it came from. It was just a thing as like a kid. I've always loved wolves and obviously can't see it too well. Yeah, but I got a wolf tattoo on me.
Yeah, I've got one too that I forgot about until you actually told me you're into wolves. I was like, oh yeah, I have one of those.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like my best tattoo is probably like this line on the back of my arm that I never see. It's my favorite.
100%. When you have as many as me and you do, I think you forget you've even got them on your body.
Well, I've been contemplating getting a big back piece, but I'm like, am I going to see it? Will it look cool? Probably.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. I forget I've got my whole back done too. But yeah, I love the wolf thing. It was such a trivial thing. Obviously, I like to learn so much about you guys. You're like, I'm into wolves. I'm like, that's so weird. I love it.
Yeah. I don't know where it really stemmed from. I just, growing up, just love wolves. And when I traveled to the States, when my parents were working over there, we actually went to like a wolf sanctuary. And got to actually, I'm pretty sure there's photos of me on Facebook still.
Yeah.
They did all the wolves lined up And the photo is actually with like the alpha of the pack, like really nubbling in and on my head, which is like really random. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
They love you back.
They're literally just big dogs. Like obviously they're born in captivity at that stage because they're protected wildlife where they were. But yeah, the 8-month-old pup was 80 kilos and then just comes sits in your lap.
Oh my God, it's like my Rottweiler. He's like 66 kilos and he's like, you want an elbow in the groin? Because I'm going to give one to you anyway.
I still think I'm a lap dog, yeah.
100%. That's so fucking cool though. I mean, I love animal people in general. I think we're like a special type. I went to Borneo and met orangutans and stuff, and that was like the experience ever, and like heaps of, just weird things. But I love animal people, and I love that you're into wolves. You're a random person, and that's great.
I like what I like.
I love it. Yeah, own your weird, hey. But also, I think something that's really cool about your business, opposed to probably a lot of lawyers, and it's so like modern day of you, is like you work from home. Big slay.
Yeah, it's. I guess the main reason for that was, and for Odyssey Legal, is just being around to be with my son. So we had him when I was working up in Noosa. So every day I was driving 30, 40 minutes each way, and getting home at 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I see him for 5 minutes and he's off to bed. And I'm like, that's not much of a life. Like, that's not much of an interaction with him. So that was another kind of big motivation to go out on my own. And now in the last year I've been operating, I've seen him more than I did for the 3 years before that. So that's
good.
Yeah, amazing. It's obviously has its own struggles because toddlers and babies are interesting.
And you've got 2 now. You got a new freshie as well.
Yeah, Luca, born in May, he's just hit teething, so that makes working from home even more fun.
And your beautiful wife, obviously currently a stay-at-home mum, but she's a doula. That's the fucking coolest job ever.
Yeah. So she does help out with the business because her background's bookkeeping and all that sort of stuff. Before she gave up the corporate world to go into the doula. It really stemmed
What a change.
Yeah. That's what I said to her all the time. I'm like, you literally went from, this corporate go-getter to really getting into your kind of feminine energy and being that,
woo-woo. Yeah,
provider for the family. And, she all of a sudden loves baking and all this sort of stuff. I'm like, who are you?
Who have I married? But also
it really
love
stemmed
it. Feed
from
me.
like our kind of incidents with Darcy. So when he was 6 months old, he got hot water spilt on his foot. So we had to take him down to Brisbane for a debridement surgery. It just so happened to be on the day that he had his 6 month needles. And then we went down and then he had the anesthesia to be put under so he could do the debridement surgery to make sure his joints were okay. And then stemming from that, because obviously that's going to be a big impact to your gut health, he had really bad eczema.
Wow. I'm an eczema sufferer. I understand that well.
So we went through all the usual creams and stuff that people usually recommend, and it was just not working. So Lily, through some of her friends, started making a deep dive into actually understanding what caused it and the gut health and all that sort of stuff. And then obviously that just went down another rabbit hole, to the point where we end up curing his eczema by just resetting, taking him back to basically starting him off with bone broth and just slowly reintroducing foods to him. And then from there, she's just been, on the holistic journey, and then eventually really loved that whole pregnancy space, postpartum, and that's when she got into it. And I think, she was running. She's been doing it for about 2 years now.
Yeah, wow. And isn't it crazy? Like, obviously, and as you know this, and I speak about this really freely, we've obviously been on the IVF train for a very long time too, and it's absolutely insane how much my body has changed, being more conscious of my diet and watching what I put in my body, and I don't really drink anymore or anything like that. I mean, I'm sitting here having a Red Bull as I do most days of the week, but you got to have a vice. But I believe, your gut health is everything. It's what creates everything good and bad in your body and your mind.
Yeah, I'm much like you. I think it's been nearly 2 years since I've had a drink. It all kind of stemmed from this, and then obviously I was training Muay Thai at the same time, so I was trying to get really fit. I was like 110, 112 kilos at my heaviest.
Wow.
After having Darcy, and I didn't even realize it because it just slowly compounds. And then I was like, no. Getting training full time, cutting the drink, because we just moved houses recently. And that was a stage where I was just collecting like cool beer cans and stuff like that. And I was like, how much?
This is a bad hobby. What is this hobby?
I don't know how I afforded all that, but it just reminds me of like how much I was drinking at the time. And then since cutting that out, like I used to get sick all the time, and now I'm barely sick. Like, I had COVID for half a day. Like, I had a bit of a headache, and then I slept and I was fine the next day. So stuff like that. Yeah,
that's great. Crazy. Hey, and like, I know obviously your journey to parenthood has been a little bit different in the way that you feel like you're actually quite depressed after having children. And I don't think a lot of people speak about the impacts of kids on dads. It's often spoken about the mums. Obviously, the mums, it's very physical. It's like everything. And, we speak a lot about that. But I do feel that sometimes dads get a bit forgotten about it. And yeah, you had a pretty tough experience with your first one.
Oh, 100%. And it's only something now that when we were going through this journey with the second child that me and my partner really discussed it, and it really came to the attention that I really don't remember a lot after the first 6 months to 12 months because I was just disassociated. So essentially from the time Lily came home, it was like, oh, I think I'm pregnant, beat on a stick, and we found out. It kind of flicked something in my head. It was like, all right, now you've got to provide, like you need to pull your finger out of your ass essentially.
Yep.
And at this time, I was a junior lawyer working at a firm. I wasn't necessarily making a lot. So it really is like I had the anxiety of that from the outset. And then from the after effect, once he's born, it's having the anxiety around, lack of sleep and all that sort of stuff. And it's tough. Everyone says, oh, it's such a beautiful journey. And it's like, yeah, it is, like to a certain degree, but it's still fucking shit sometimes. And it's really tough. And, I look back now and there was stages where I was just completely disassociated from the whole thing. Like I'd gone internal, shut down, and just had to do what obviously still helping out where I can, but just trying to not necessarily deal with the emotions at that stage, just push them down, focus on getting through the day to day until, it comes to the point where we reached a level where he wasn't, it wasn't as tough, so we could actually reflect and go, holy shit.
We just were in fight the whole time, just trying to get through that time. I think it's, and I love that you like lovingly describe your life as pure chaos, which I think is so gorgeous because I feel like we're all a little bit like that as well. But when, I don't know like what your journey was, whether you had planned to have children or whether you'd spoken about what had happened, like what would happen when you did. Because I know that, obviously there was a lot of pressure for you financially. You felt like that you, in your own words, were kind of being a failure of a dad and a failure of a provider through that time.
Yeah, 100%. I've always planned to have kids, but I wanted to be set up as a lawyer first. Mm-hmm. So my original goal was to start having kids at 30, which is the age I am now, and I've got 2 already.
Yeah.
So it was kind of happened by mistake. Nothing happens by mistake, but for lack of better words, it just kind of happened, and I wouldn't change it. Obviously, Darcy's great. It was just a very chaotic time, but it's funny once that switch flicks to going, all right, I need to provide for this family, how things can be set in motion, how quickly things change. Yeah. At the time, I was still running the Young Lawyer podcast, and I actually reached out to a lawyer up in Noosaville who used to work at the firm I was working for, just to build the connection for the podcast and get him on and all that sort of stuff. And that actually eventuated into discussing job opportunities and stuff like that. And that's when I went to work up with Noosa. So it's such a quick change how things, once you really set your mind to it and go, all right, well this needs to change, and it just, you open it up to the universe, essentially it comes back to you.
Hell yeah. And I think it's like, if anything's going to do, that's going to be kids coming into the picture, especially when it was completely unplanned and you're like, oh my God, I thought I still had 3 years. What the fuck? And it's just going to
yeah. But there was a certain period where I was still at the other firm where I was just coming home, probably depressed, angry, all that sort of stuff, and just not happy with where I was in life, which was probably the main thing causing everything else. And, obviously it would affect my home life, affect my time with the kids, because I wouldn't be present, or wouldn't able to be present with my partner or my kids. So coming out of that and then obviously making that shift to the new job, bit of a fair, decent pay rise. And then I can actually look back and at that stage can go, well, all right, now I know that I've been not good for this period. It's time to actually pull my finger out now and go, all right, well, what needs to change? But it was good with each of them, like with both workplaces, that they actually allowed me to start working from home on Tuesday.
That's good.
At least I got that one day at home to help out with the partner and all that sort of stuff, because obviously she's going through her own stuff after pregnancy.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the main other stress around that time too was all the COVID situation, because it was 2022. Yeah, so he was born January 2022. So 2021 to 2022 is when we were pregnant. Which is when it started to hit Queensland, was late 21 to mid 2022 as well. So we weren't fond of necessarily getting the COVID jabs, but obviously for my employment, I had to, as well as the doctors basically said, if you want to have a hospital birth, you both need the jab or else you're not coming in. That just kind of added to the whole stress that already was, our first pregnancy. And
I know so many people that had it against their will because they had to. And a lot of people had it while they were pregnant. A lot of people had it, like my husband had it because he couldn't go to work. Like, and people are like, it was a choice. I'm like, it wasn't a choice when like the government was literally taking away your income or your ability to seek healthcare. That's actually not a choice. That is absolutely
100%.
coercion. Like it's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just added everything else in as well.
Yeah, and then obviously that plus, obviously being first time, the whole hospital experience was, I think it was a 36-hour birth. So like that in itself was just chaos. Neither of us really slept for that 36 hours. So leaving that hospital with a newborn baby just wrecked already, going, is someone actually going to test to see if we're competent to do this? Or like, can we just walk out of here with this thing? It doesn't seem
Who's
right.
driving us home? I'm going to fall asleep.
Where's the actual adult? Like, I'm still a child.
I feel like so many parents feel like that too. But I also do love when you talk about, and it's like, again, such a modern day parent thing. Like, it's like both parents want to be involved now. Like, both parents don't want to be married to their jobs. They want to have, I guess, what you could call work-life balance, which I'm sure doesn't exist for you as much as it doesn't exist for me, kind of married to your job and your family and your everything else. But it's so nice to hear that, a big part of that was that you did want to be home and be with your babies and, be around your wife and help her as well.
And it's something I've noticed become more common, probably in my field because I deal with a lot of my field, but a lot of other industries too. And for me, running a business like yourself, it's chaos, but I've tried to at least structure it where mornings the kids are usually up relatively early, so I'm up at 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock anyway. So I usually
with the Queensland sun.
take them into the garage. Like I'll do a bit of exercise in the morning and they just kind of float around with me, but just having them there and being able to spend that time. And then I'll try, either knock off at like 4:30 and 5 and make it like a strict deadline, go spend a bit of time outside with them, especially now we got a yard, come down for dinner, have that family time. And then, we spend the time getting them showered, put them to bed. And then if I need to do work, 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'll go and do work until 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night or whatever I need to do, just to make sure, I've got that clear divide of when they're actually going to get my time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know. And then you have painful clients like me who call you at ungodly hours of the evening and weekends that you have to respond to.
This is urgent. Oh, is it really? You could have listened to me 3 months ago.
Shut up. Why did you get into law? Like, what's the interest in law?
That's a pretty good question, to be honest. I kind of did it at high school. I don't think I really had a big interest in it. And then I actually went out. I really didn't know what I wanted to do coming out of school. So when I went to uni, I kind of just did what all my mates were doing. I did the typical exercise, science, physio, or whatever it is, PT essentially. So I went down to the Gold Coast to do that for uni initially, but I just partied the whole year and didn't really study too much. So I was like, this is probably not for me. I'll probably move home. And then I moved home back into like the central Queensland, Gladstone region when I was just around 18. And then kind of just fell into a law job at that stage. They were essentially just hiring a male paralegal, essentially, because they were a female-heavy kind of firm and they were dealing with criminal law. So, like, we just need a kind of male presence just to simmer stuff down if it escalates. I'm like, 18, like 70 kilos, like a little twig. Like, I'm not going to do anything. If these people act up, well, like, we're screwed.
I love that so much.
I took that job on, and literally the first 3 months, I was literally just cutting up old files to do the archiving and taking it over the archive. Like, no actual law work. Like, they just need someone.
Actual shit kicker jobs that we all started with. Yeah.
And then, just kind of flowed on from there. I started learning a bit more, and I was like, I could see myself doing this, and decided to start uni at, 20, 21.
Yeah.
And just went from there. And then over time, I slowly realized that I don't want to do criminal law. Like at 18, seeing like the underbelly and, pulling back that curtain of what actually goes on behind the scenes is just wild, especially because there's not.
I believe that. I feel like I would find that really fascinating. I feel like the law that you do, I would find really hard. Like you're a litigator. You're like one of the angry ones that goes in and fights, and we love that. And you do a lot of dispute resolution and things like that too, hey?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a very slow transition. So, my initial introduction was criminal law, conveyancing, and kind of DVO stuff. And don't get me wrong, like the criminal law, there's some interesting stories. And it was even funny seeing like a lot of the kids that were going through high school with me, like either a year older or a year younger, who were just drop kicks at high school. And then you see like their police record and you're like, makes sense.
Yep, I can see that.
And then when I moved to the coast, I transitioned into like the commercial transactional stuff, leasing, conveyancing again. But I hated that. It was the same tedious shit day in, day out. And I was like, this is not for me. I need something different. And then slowly work my way over to litigation. And at that stage, I just decided to kind of dive in the deep end and just start a master's degree in litigation so I could catch up to the people that were years ahead of me a bit more.
Yep.
And then from there, I just kind of loved it ever since. My partner will tell you I love arguing, so that's pretty straightforward.
I know. That's the chism, babe, as we said. That's like just like factual and like correct and like specific. And I love that.
Yeah, well, it's like your parents saying, "Oh, you should be a lawyer. You argue all the time." It's like, yeah, it's actually true now.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, I listened, didn't I? See, I did what I was told.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so with the litigation, I've slowly with the Odyssey Legal, I was going to just do litigation disputes, but I'm like, I really love helping businesses in the front end kind of reach their full potential. So I do that as primary, but I still slowly trying to rebrand or market towards, building a lot more in the front end and building protection to stop the disputes happening in the first place.
Yeah, it's a very smart thing that like so many people overlook. Me and so many of my clients. So we're always dealing with you after the fact, which we love. But were you good at school? Were you smart? Smart kid?
Yes, but I couldn't care less for school. So I think I ended up with like an OP15, which was like almost borderline
fail.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for attending.
But whatever that, the NAPLAN test or whatever they did, I got like an A- or B+ without even really trying.
Yes.
But it's just one of those things. I was like being forced to sit down and all that sort of stuff. It just wasn't for me. Like I didn't learn that way. Like I'm a visual learner, and I've obviously learned I'm a visual learner now. Like actually seeing how things work and go together and from experience. And so, especially once they brought in laptops into schools, like I was done. Like I was watching movies, I was playing Halo or whatever it was at the time with the rest of the people in the class. And the funny thing was, my mum was the IT person at school, so she was always monitoring it. And so every time I'd be like on socials or something, she'd be like, "Hey, you should probably get off."
Yours is like pinging her to let her know that you're being naughty. So we didn't have that. We had computer rooms when I went to school. I'm only 5 years older than you, but I left school when I was 15 and I was one of those kids that had to work really hard and like I just hated it. Didn't like the environment, didn't like school. I feel like honestly all of my really successful business friends were like did not fit in at school. It wasn't the right environment and it was just like I still think it's such an outdated environment and it's just it's not for everybody. I don't know. I feel like the system needs to change a bit.
100%. And we're going to go down that path, whether it's homeschooling or unschooling with our kids. Essentially, my partner would probably explain it better than I could, but they learn through play.
Yep.
So we've got close friends. They've got 5 like smart, beautiful kids that have all done this and learned from play. And
who has 5 kids? They need to get checked. That's amazing.
Yeah, they want another one. It's like, nah, screw that. But essentially, you do like a few hours of curriculum, but then the rest of it's learning through play, being outdoors, actually enjoying being a kid, essentially.
Yep.
And I thought that was fantastic. And I actually stumbled across a page on Instagram called like The Future of Education, which is a high school over in the States. And they only do like 2 hours of curriculum a day, and then they focus on whatever the kid wants to focus on. So if they want to do academic, then that's their choice. And they were showing results the other day. There was, one kid who got the second highest SATs in the whole of the USA. And then there's other 16-year-olds.
Learning in this alternative way.
Yeah. And there's other 16-year-olds running $1,000 a week businesses already. It's like, it's about obviously teaching them the basics and the foundation, but which you don't need 8 hours a day for. Like it can be condensed, and then focusing on, what they're actually passionate about. And I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, and like how different our lives would have been, our trajectory would have been had we have learned in that sort of environment too. Like I've got one of my staff is sending her daughter to a bush school and she's about to have another baby, and I think that it'll go, I think obviously he'll go to that school as well. And then I know we've got friends up here who do Steiner and Montessori, and I tell you what, those kids could rule the fucking world. They are so smart because they learn in that way that it's like, well, let's focus on what you're interested in. If you want to learn about science today, we can learn about science today. If you want to read and write, then we can do that today. And it's just like makes it more interesting environment for everybody. And also teaching in different learning styles. There's nothing more painful for me. I pretty much got cross-eyed watching a teacher fill up a whiteboard full of writing that I had to try and interpret. I was like, this is not, it's like just going straight around my head, not even going in through it.
Yeah, that's like looking back. I was doing like the, not necessarily like the really hard maths, but like the kind of smart one with all the log and tan. And I'm like, what use am I getting out of this? Like, I'm not going to be a mathematician. Like, what the
Specialist maths? I did that too. Maths was my jam. English, horrible. Everything else, horrible. That was maths.
Yeah.
But I love that. I know, you're like, when am I going to need to measure a circle? Really? Yeah. When am I going to need to build stairs? Yeah.
And it's funny because I reached the stage in high school where I'm like, I know I need to just get grades to pass and get the hell out of here. So I ended up doing drama. I just used to sleep half the class. They had like beanbags and stuff, and we'd it's drama. So you'd mess around the whole thing, and the rest of it, I'm just laying there like almost asleep.
Just a blob in the background.
Yeah, I'm like, as long as I pass, like I couldn't care less.
I heard a few people out there. They're like, I just went to attend to sign myself off, and then I just left because I knew I wasn't going to use any of this when I left school anyway. On the contrast of that, though, I think it's funny too. Like, obviously, two of us fucking really didn't like school, didn't enjoy school, didn't find it an exciting environment. But I think you love business and you love self-development, and you're always out doing something and learning something new. And you're also a really fucking hard worker. You have multiple jobs at once, and it sounds like you were happy doing like the little shit kicker jobs like we all were, and it's gotten you where you are.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm necessarily happy at the time doing the shit kicker jobs, but
Horrible.
I feel like, if I was to do law any earlier or start my journey any earlier, it wouldn't have worked out because I was not ready for it as a person.
Yep.
It's funny because a mate of mine, mate that I know, he put up a quote the other day. It was like, it's not enough to be, the right person at the not at the right place at the right time. You need to be the right person at the right place at the right time. And I'm like,
100%. I think about this in so many aspects too, because it's like, even like I met my husband when I was 21, and we obviously dated for 5 minutes, and then we didn't get back together until I was 31, I think, or 32 or something like that. And it was like, everyone's like, oh, how sad that you missed out on all those years. I was like, no, I needed those years. I was a different person. He was a different person. Like, it wasn't meant to be at that time. So yeah, I think that's true of everything in life, really, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
Good quote, though. I love that.
I've reached a stage where it's like you can't force it. It's the same with clients or inquiries. People who really need help. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can give them the options and say, hey, look, if you need a hand, give us a call, but we're not going to force you because I've got other people to help.
I think that's also, that's part of actually my intake process in my business too, is it's like, I'm happy to have a sales call with you, a discussion with you, talk about your business, tell you how I can help you. At the end of the day, I'm not going to keep chasing you up because I want an action taker. I want someone who's actually going to do the things. I want somebody who's going to be like, yep, I'm ready to jump in. I'm ready to do this. I'm not going to chase you forever. Some people think that's terrible sales. I actually think it's testing them to see how hard they're going to work through this, because I'm not a wand. I'm here to hold your hand and help you and show you and guide you and offer you advice, but I'm not a magic wand who's going to do the work for you. You've got to do the work.
Yeah, 100% agree, because I've just brought on a new kind of coach to help me scale the firm a bit quicker. And they're like, oh, you should be, doing email follow-ups. I'm like, no, I'll do a 7-day follow-up. If not, I'm getting off risk and they can. But it's always funny because like I only do that one follow-up and then I'll still get a call from them 3 months later saying, hey, we actually can go ahead now. I was like, okay.
And we do the same thing too. Like we'll have a discovery call with somebody, and then it won't be till 6 months later and they're like, hey, I'm ready now. I just needed some time. I'm like, that's cool. It's fine. Might I also add to that too, I've been watching you a lot online at the moment, and you're a bit of a content king at the moment. There's lots of good content out there. I'm loving it.
Yeah,
I feel like that's way better than following up fucking emails. I feel like that's way more impactful. You just spit random facts about things I had no idea about. I'm like, oh, that's so interesting.
This whole social media has changed the game, I think. And I was actually having a conversation with another lawyer the other day. It's just a lot of them aren't keeping up. A lot of them are still in their outdated process of, oh, we're big, they'll come to us. But it's like, no, people want to actually connect nowadays. Like there's so many ways to connect with them before you actually make the sale. There's like 5 or 7 touch points. I can't remember what it was. It always changes. But, having that personality, that behind the scenes, people go, oh, he's a regular person. Like he's just not another guy in a suit. He's going to be like, you do this, or just piss off. So that's why I love this.
I think there's definitely a stigma around lawyers like there is around hairdressers. Like every business, every job, every something like that always has like their, thing around them. But it's good. And I love that you're like, I've got would you say like, I've got a face for radio, but you still put yourself out there all the time. I'm like, I love it.
Yeah. Got a 6 head, not even a 4 head anymore. Receding hairline's killing me.
That's hit your old age now.
Oh, when this grows out, it's just going to be grey. I can already feel it.
Cam blames me for his grey hairs. He reckons he didn't have a grey before he met me. I'm like, it's probably true. I'm a bit of chaotic mess.
Oh, kids will do it as well. But Lily's only, she 26? Yeah, turning 27. Yep. And she's already got the greys from the kids. I'm like,
oh, I love that. But no, I think that's always been like one of my things too. I'm like, obviously really, really good advice. That's what we do for a living. We need to be paid for it too. But I do believe that by putting little snippets of content and little snippets of things out there and like giving people that, like feeding them with just like little facts and little bits of knowledge already builds rapport. So your clients might not need you right now, especially when you're kind of the type of person, I guess they reach out when they need help with something, or, they reach out when they need something preventative. Like at least if they're not reaching out now and they're just consuming your content, one day they're just going to be like, oh, I'm going to go to Damon because I know that he does this, or this is what he helps with, or he gave me this information. And like, you know, you're embedding yourself in their head.
Yeah, and hopefully they can just keep liking it so I can leave law and go into a career of acting.
Engage with me.
Just quit and be a content creator. That's, I guess, the benefit nowadays with the social media is that you can have fun with it. No one takes it as seriously. You know, for the people, like I've helped out a few firms and said, hey, look, rather than just posting content, how about do this? Show behind the scenes, show who you are. Have a bit of fun with it. Like it's, and I think it was Carlo actually who said it's social media, not serious media. Like, have fun with it. That's what it's there for. At the end of the day, all you're trying to do is attract views or get people to know who you are. And, you know, for me, when I first started, I was doing 2 posts a day on like both accounts, like my Diary of an Entrepreneur or whatever it was at the time, and Odyssey Legal. So 2 posts a day for each account for 3 months or something.
That's a lot.
Oh, that's
Gary V level content. Like that's like just feed.
That's like 10 videos a day. I'm like, I just don't have time for that. I need
no one has time for that.
It's where you just sit down and batch it and just have someone else run it all. But I'm like, 2 a day. I was like, it's going to grow attention. It's going to grow the audience. But after that, I can dial it back a bit. But my goal, like I never really had a strategy. Everyone talks about having a marketing strategy. Mine was just pure guerrilla warfare. Like everywhere you go, you'll see me. Like you'll see my face. I'll be doing this. I just want to
be in your head.
Yeah, literally. And it will just be consistency over everything else. So if I'm saying I'm going to do Monday to Friday, 2 posts a day, it's Monday to Friday, 2 posts a day, without a doubt.
Yeah. That discipline's insane too. Does that come from your Muay Thai and everything as well? Like you're obviously a pretty structured person.
That's probably the tism coming into play more than anything.
Well, yes, that's what I say about my husband, who's tizzy as. Like,
I've always loved routine. I hate being out of routine, and like I love traveling, but I also hate being out of routine. So it's a weird dynamic for me sometimes.
My husband is exactly the fucking same. I'd be like, if someone's like, you want to go to Bali tomorrow? I'd be like, yeah, and I'll just go and like it'll be fine. And he'll be like, no, wait, I've got to like recalibrate my calendar in my head, and I've got to move things around, and I can almost like watch him process things.
Yeah, I reach a stage where I'm like, all right, I've been out of routine for 2 or 3 weeks now. I need to go home.
That is so fucking funny. But I love that so much. No, I think something else, like, just going back to that content a little bit too, and like showing a little bit of who you are. I think, when I first started in coaching for sure, and definitely in my hairdressing and barbering career as well, was like, I wanted to be everything for everyone, and I wanted to make sure that everybody liked me. And now I'm just like, I don't want people who don't fuck with me. Like, I don't want people who don't vibe with me, like I have the best clients because they're all like, you're a legend. You talk like I want to talk. You give advice like I want to hear it. And I'm like, good. I wouldn't want somebody who didn't completely vibe with who I was. And I know that you're exactly the same. Like, obviously there's so many lawyers out there that do what you do, but you want people who vibe with you.
Oh, exactly right. Otherwise you're just wasting your time realistically, because they're just going to be a nightmare to deal with because they don't understand you and you don't understand them. And it's funny because I post, like, whatever I post on socials, I post straight across to YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah. All I'm doing is posting, humorous or advice half the time, and I'm still getting hate. I'm like, oh well, you can't please everyone.
Yeah, you're gonna hate me whether I'm fun or I'm funny or I'm hot or I'm smart or I'm whatever. So it's like you may as well just be whatever. I'll be whatever you want to be. Exactly. It's too hard to be somebody else. Too much work.
Oh, it's just like, and people got nothing better to do than just to hate. So I'm like, all right, we'll steer into the skid and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I think, and you made a note in here too, like when we were talking about this earlier about like you did suffer with a bit of imposter syndrome. Maybe you still do. Probably
not anymore. I've kind of reached the stage where like I'm the guy.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Like I'm him.
Yeah.
But yeah, when what is it? Sorry, coming through. When I first started out, and I think most lawyers do, because you're ideally supposed to be coming out of university qualified as a lawyer or understand what you need to do as a lawyer. But unless you've actually worked in a law firm with a lot of experience, you come out and you're kind of going, what the hell am I doing? Because it does teach you obviously the foundational stuff you need to know to understand the basics. But what you learn at university and what you actually do in practice is 2 very different things.
Yeah.
So coming out, I was very nervous. So I was admitted as a lawyer, then I moved basically to the coast and got a job here. So the first, I'd say 2 to 3 years, like I was stressed, anxious. I was going to make mistakes. Like the first 6 months, I was probably making a mistake every other week. And because obviously as a lawyer, you're supposed to be up on this pillar essentially. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Perfectionist. And it's like, you can't make mistakes. Otherwise you cost this person hundreds of thousands of dollars, or you screw this up and you'd be sued. And it's like, that's a lot of pressure for someone who's, young, coming out of university going, holy shit. like with the 2 years, once you get your practicing certificate, you're supposed to be supervised and all that sort of stuff. And realistically, that doesn't happen a lot.
Yep.
Principal solicitors get busy, and then you kind of left to your own devices, which is even more scary.
They're like, go fly.
Yeah, it's like it's even
What
more
am I
scary
doing?
because, like, you know, at least if you make the mistake, they pick it up and go, "Oh, yeah, you made the mistake here." Whereas if you're just doing stuff on your own without knowing what you're doing, you're like, "Am I making a mistake or is it okay?" So you get, that's what I kind of mean by you just get thrown in the deep end, and it's ring of fire essentially, sink or swim.
Yeah.
But I was fortunate enough to get through that stage, and I feel like whilst I wouldn't recommend that avenue for really anyone else going through that, it really kind of gave me the confidence eventually to say, look, I know what I'm doing. Like, I've been doing this for long enough now. I know how to fix shit if it goes wrong. And, you know, especially with what we do with disputes, we see how it goes wrong all the time. So I go, oh, this is how we fix it.
Yeah.
If worst to worst, this is how we resolve this. Like, it's simple now. But yeah, I'd say up until probably even once I started the Odyssey Legal firm, there's still probably a little bit of imposter syndrome. But it hit earlier this year that I'm like, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I'd get letters from other lawyers that were just rubbish or a waste of their clients' money and my clients' time. And I'm like, oh, maybe I actually know what I'm doing. Like, I'm up here now. I'm not, down with here with these shit kickers. And it's just, I think it only really comes from experience. It doesn't come from, reading books or anything else like that. That's the only way. And stacking wins. I know Alex Hormozi talks about it all the time. It's just stacking wins. That's how you get rid of it. Yeah.
I think also, and like you probably have this too, like God, when I see some of the things that other business coaches are putting out there and giving to business, like to, salon owners and barbershop owners, and I'm sure the same for you, like I actually feel really bad for them sometimes. And I'm like, fuck, you've invested in like the wrong person. Like this wrong person has really let you down. And a lot of these people spend a lot of fucking money on coaching, on legal expenses, on those things. And like, there's obviously part of it for you that you're like, oh, well, I'm going to fuck them up because look at their fucking letter. They don't know what they're talking about. But there must be a part of you that's just like, God, that poor person has spent thousands on this lawyer and they're just a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I've had that conversation with our clients a few times. And there's even been cases where I'm like, this is so bad. I really just want to tear it apart and I won't even charge you for it. I just want to do it for the fun.
Just to feed my soul.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what part of my job is just pulling apart the other person's case. And it's funny because in like the show Suits, Harvey always talks about, you don't play the case, you play the man. And there's been so many times where like, it's a 50-50 split. It's a 50-50 decision. So rather than attacking the case, you try and separate the client from their lawyer or put a wedge between them to push for a resolution. So it's interesting where the strategy comes into play.
And I love that so much. It's even like, one case that you've dealt with for me and we just let the other person get really emotional and then just kind of like let it weaponize against them. And I was like, they've been their own undoing. I've loved watching you do this. I'm like, it's so good.
Yeah, it'd be cool if I could actually like film like some of the emails I get. Because I tell clients all the time, I'm like, I'm not gonna, like, I'll set out your case, like I'll put forward a good argument, but I'm not going to go back and forth in emails because it's just waste everyone's time. And then when you start ignoring people or you start ignoring other lawyers, it's where the emotion starts to kick in and they start going, oh, can you please respond to this? Please respond to this. It's like, no, I don't need to. Like, it's wasting clients' money. Like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. If I really want to, I'll take it to court. I had one recently actually, and I don't know if the client was doing this on purpose or it's just the way he is, but he was really antagonizing to this lawyer who I think was a bit of an elderly lawyer. And so each time they'd write back, the client would be like emotionally charged. The lawyer coming back would be emotionally charged as well. And so when the file finally came to me, I looked at it and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious.
You're like, they're fighting with each other. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, and it's so funny because it literally all it would have taken for my client to do was just send like a few documents over. The whole dispute would have resolved, but he was like just a principled person. So I'm like, all right, I'll do, letter on your behalf. Here's blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we sent out like a notice saying that the tenant was in breach of their lease, like it was a commercial lease issue, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you come back with an 11-page letter of like just emotional bullshit. And I'm like, you're wasting everybody's time. And, within the letter, he's like, oh, we'll comply with your demand and we'll do what you basically told us to do. I'm like, well, what's the other 10 pages for? Like, it's just funny when egos get involved that they have to have their last say. It's like, okay. And then that lawyer emailed me every day for a week until I confirmed that I received his email and received his letter. And I just ignored it for the whole week.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's insane to me. Like, obviously, I'm a very emotional person, but I also can be like, you've just got to just take a back seat and think about it for a second. Like, just like, and also like when you're in those sorts of situations, you need to be just concise and calm and straight to the point. Like, there's no need for all the other stuff in it. So it must be really amusing when you get to read shit like that. And you're like, what is this?
And I think part of what we do as lawyers is actually our jobs to separate the client's emotion from the outcome that they want, because a lot of them will come in, oh, we want to sue this person on principle. Like, I don't care how much it costs them. We're taking everything. And they get 6 to 12 months in, they go, oh, this is shit. Like, we're going to be dealing with this for another year. I'm like, I literally told you this at the start. Like, I gave you all the information. I said, put your emotions aside. You want to sue for principle. And now we're still here. Like,
yeah.
So it's interesting. It's fun. And that's why I love it. It's so much better than the transactional stuff.
It would be. I can see why you definitely got bored with things like conveyancing and those sorts of things. I think that would be a just horrendously boring job. I mean, I'm not a desk girl by any stretch of the imagination, but I can see why you're like, I have so much more fun with this. Yeah, it fills me.
So much more strategy involved too, which I've always
yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, you actually have to use your brain and think and, be more strategic. I love that too. It's kind of good anyway, because I guess we're coming to like the last few points here, but Odyssey Legal, why is it called Odyssey?
Is it bad if I just say I was one of the only ones on the register available?
No, I love that.
Well, I was going through the register and I was obviously being a litigation fan, I initially wanted something probably with too much bravado, alpha-ish, and I was like, I went through a few different options. I'm like, that's pretty corny. And I was scrolling through the list and I was like, Odyssey. I'm like, I've always loved Greek mythology and Norse mythology and all that sort of stuff. So I'm like, that's perfect. Quickly checked online and make sure there's no other businesses running it. And I was like, quickly snagged it. I'm like, yes.
You got to do that now, hey?
And then it's just, it's something that I can also have a bit of creative freedom with, I think, rather than just being like, oh, Laffin and Associates. Like, I've got the merch with the cool shield and like the god on the back and stuff like that. I can actually go right into like the Roman and the Greek stuff and really flesh it out.
But I think that's so cool for your brand message, though. It's good to have something a little bit different rather than stale Laffin and Associates,
100%. No one wants to buy a Laffin Associates once the Laffin leaves anyway.
Yeah, I know. And people like iconic coaching. That's a thing too. I'm like, well, that's like, you want to be like louder and different. And there's so many stale coaches and businesses and everything out there. You just want to have, your own brand message and your own brand personality. And yeah, that's really cool. I was wondering what the background was there. Yeah. And
I should have been like, I was in Greece, I was doing this, and stumbled across, I tripped over and knocked my head next to the Colosseum, and I was just like, Odyssey Legal, that's it.
That's so funny. Yeah, maybe you need to create more of a story around that. I don't know, but nah, I get it. It's good.
Well, I've been trying to play around with like the new AI video stuff, because like I've always had like this idea of like a commercial in my head of like gladiators, saw the Spartans and stuff fighting in the Colosseum, transitioning to like doing like me training Muay Thai or me walking out of the court and be like, the battles have changed, but like the principle remains the same. It pays to have the right partner in your corner or something.
I love that. And it's like, what a cool thing to be able to lean into, though. I've seen some of your AI stuff coming out. AI petrifies me, but I'm leaning into it a lot now, which is huge to me because I'm kind of like the anti-tech girl. But yeah, it's incredible. I think it's incredible. Play around with it, see what works. I also think feeding a bit of humor into law is also kind of fun. Like, it's a pretty black and white thing. So if you can have some fun with it, have fun with it.
Yeah, it's certainly come a long way, I'd say, both on AI and, having a bit of fun in law. I've noticed a lot more law firms are trying to have a bit more of a humorous side, because at the end of the day, we are people. Like, yes, we've got a semi-serious job, but we don't have to be serious all the time.
100%.
Like I put up a story yesterday of me on the phone. I was like calling my mum because the other lawyer was mean to me. Things like that. And, stuff like that is actually what gets the most attention. Like, I think I had the most reacts to that. And I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because people love seeing that.
It's always the weird trivial shit that we put out there too, and people are like, that was so fucking funny. I was like, oh my God, really? It was like a spur of the moment, just came into my head, needed to post it right in that minute. But hey, that's the best thing about just showing up, and I love that. I need mama for emotional support. Yeah.
And then, I've been trying to use a lot of AI occasionally for when I don't have time to record stuff myself. And like some of the people that are just talking on the screen are just straight AI. I get a script from AI itself. My mate will tell you it's not proper AI because it all still needs prompts and everything. So like,
of course,
script, and then I'll put that script into the video creator, and it'll just create the video for me with the person talking, captions, everything else. I'm reluctant to dabble in like the AI twin, so which is literally an AI version of me, which
I'm the same with that too, actually. Like I've got a friend who's in videography and he uses it a lot for him talking about things. Like he showed me and I was like, that is next level wild that you can do that. But I'm the same. I feel, I don't know. I'd rather just get it to write me a prompt and I could read a prompt or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like, where does it stop? Because like, once I've created an AI version of myself, who's to say someone else isn't going to steal it and, have me ringing someone up saying, hey, I want $1 million. Like, where do we draw the line?
100%. And even like, isn't it crazy? I know that all like the actors and stuff went on strike back like in Hollywood a few years ago because they were like, well, we can just use your voices. Like we can just take your voices and create AI actors. And they're like, you're literally taking our job away. Why would we support this even if you are paying us? Like it's crazy how much people can copy. And a lot of AI doesn't look like AI.
Oh, it's getting very scary good, especially the new updates to like Sora and Google VO3. Like there's some stuff I generated and I'm like, this is almost like a proper cinema image video. I was like, that's insane.
Yeah. And I mean, even, like we've been using it all. I teach my clients to use it for some copy and those sorts of things as well. Obviously, I'm the anti-Chat GPT because Chat GPT is like the bogan of the AIs. It's like the basic entry level one. But, something else we've been using is we've been using this incredible software called Aura, and it like literally answers the phone for them, takes bookings for them, like it gives pricing information, like talks about anything that they want. And it's like, it answers the phone 24/7. It texts with them. Like it's absolutely crazy. And especially if you're like a, 1 or 2 person operation, or even if you've got, 20 staff, to just have that job taken away from you of having to like constantly stop your clients and answer the phone and communicate with people and get stuck for 5 minutes is wild. And it sounds like a person.
Yeah, it's crazy how wild some of the AI agents or employees are. I have been contemplating it, but at the same time, like I feel the benefit when people ring me now is actually get straight through to me. Yes, it messes with my flow, which drives me mental, but when they come through, they get me rather than going to, reception and AI agent, all that sort of stuff. And I feel like that's one of the big differences and why people kind of probably like us a bit more.
Yeah. And look, we're the same too. Like, I've got 3 women who work for me all remotely from their homes. 2 of them deal directly with clients. One of them just does all like the marketing and the background stuff. But I actually love that it's person to person too. And I love that those girls know everything inside out. And I love that they get a real person. And like, I'm sure very much similarly to your business, people are reaching out to us when they're pretty vulnerable. And when they're feeling a bit shit and like they're trying to deal with certain things in their business. And I'm sure same with you, like they come into you because like, well, I need your fucking help. Like, I don't really know what to do. And I think sometimes just having that, like having someone there to like comfort them a little bit, but also like provide them a solution on the spot is really, really important. And it does make me wonder if like AI will ever have that capability.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that because at the end of the day, they can't, like they can give the advice, but they can't implement it properly, I'd say, like the practical. Yeah. And at the end of the day, all people really want is, a solution or a path forward, as well as that peace of mind, knowing that if they take this, it's going to sort itself out.
Yeah.
It will work, obviously, but it's going to sort itself out eventually.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I don't know. It's I do think if you're not leaning into technology and you're not leaning into AI, I think you're going to get pretty left behind. It's pretty incredible. I have no doubt it'll one day make me obsolete. Hopefully not in my lifetime, but
you and me both.
Yeah, we'll one day. Oh my God, 100%. Imagine getting on a chat with an AI lawyer and it's like, yeah,
there's a few out at the moment. Like I always play around with them to have a bit of fun. And, if I need to try and limit my research time a bit, but yeah, they're still so inconsistent. And I think I even did a post about this the other day. The reality is a lot of what I do especially happens behind the scenes. So it doesn't get published. It's not public records. It's negotiations, tactics, all that sort of stuff, playing the person. Like that's not going to be available for Chat GPT or any other thing to actually go, oh, we can use this to develop our lawyers here.
Yep.
But I do know some firms are like developing in-house lawyers that not in-house AI that generates letters and stuff exactly the way they write it.
Wow,
so
that's
they feed
crazy.
it all their previous letters that they've done, and now it generates exactly the same way that they write.
That's insane. Yeah, there's a whole like other myriad of issues that going on too much of a tangent, but I do know that ChatGPT like groomed a child into suicide and stuff like that too. And it's like, so I think we've got to be careful in how we use it and what we use it for and like what its purpose is. But I think when people are fucking leaning into AI for relationship advice, go to therapy. go to a therapist, go to a person. Why are you asking an AI platform about relationship advice or emotional support? Like, no, it's a computer. What are you doing?
Yeah, or just go train.
Yes.
That's
Wow.
what I tell a lot of my mates. I'm like, go do like BJJ, go do Muay Thai. Because once you realize that, you get kicked in the head, you get punched in the head, which is most people's biggest fear. If you get punched in the head or kicked in the head first thing in the morning, the rest of your day is a breeze. Like, it's all downhill from there. Like, it can't get any worse. Like, you've already dealt with the hardest thing or the scariest thing, and now the rest of the day is like, cool.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my God. I know even like my husband like trains twice a day. So he'll get up, go to like CrossFit in the morning, and then through lunchtime, he'll usually go for a run or a walk or something like that on his lunch break. But I definitely know, his mental health he's cloudy as if he misses any days of training. Like he's really, really got to go. I'm a little bit looser with my training. I go when I feel like it. But, it's really important for a lot of people. You got to get your body moving, got to get your brain moving, got to do all the things.
And yeah, exactly right. And I'm not necessarily saying those things don't happen naturally, but if you're not giving yourself a fighting chance, like it's just going to keep making it worse, and you're not going to be able to dig yourself out of that hole.
Yeah.
And I think that's obviously I can speak from when I was depressed. Like I was not training.
Absolutely.
I put on, was it 25, 30 kilos?
Wow. Yeah.
So when I got into Muay Thai, like I was 112, trying to get fit again. And that was rough. But I was like, I need to change. Like I'm not happy the way I am now. Like something needs to happen.
I think also though, like part of being an adult and especially part of being a leader in our businesses and a leader for other people is like you have to do the hard things sometimes and the things that you don't like. And you have a responsibility even to your family, to your wife, to everything, to like take care of your health, to eat well, to exercise, to do what you need to do to look after yourself. Like I'm a big advocate for therapy. I fucking love my therapist. I think she thinks I'm nuts, but she's great. And I'm a big advocate for like, actually like doing what you need to do. Like it's all well and good to sit here and be like, oh, I have anxiety or I have depression. But if you're not doing anything about it, like how are you ever going to come through it? And I know that that's really hard. I've had experienced depression and anxiety in my life too, but like you have to choose. It's a choice. You have to overpower it and go and make the choice to go and get the help and do what you need to do to make it better and to do the daily things that are painful and awful to make yourself better.
Exactly. Yeah. And it all comes down to accountability. It's like you want to be a certain person, but you're not willing to put in the work or be accountable to yourself to get to that goal. It's like, it's not going to happen. You're not going to reach it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And so, your business has a pretty cool mission. And I know that you've just partnered with Teens Take Control. What is that about?
I don't know if I necessarily partnered, but it's just been a cool experience in meeting different business owners and all that sort of stuff. And recently had a friend refer the director over to help with some kind of shareholding stuff, sort out companies and stuff. And anyway, I just really love what he's doing. Like every time I go in and chat with him, I'm always like, they've got, I should start with the whole premise of it. So Teens Take Control is about, what's the word? At-risk use, for lack of a better word. So people who are struggling with school and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
It's pretty common nowadays. They go to him Monday to Friday, they train, they actually got they partner with a farm, they go out and grow their own crops, they do that and all this sort of stuff. And he was just telling me about it. He's like, just holding them accountable and installing discipline into them. He was getting like a 70% behavioral improvement rate compared to schools. Now, obviously being a charity and non-for-profit, they've got a million hoops to jump through. So obviously funding's always going to be interesting, but yeah, it's just crazy. It's like something as simple as, if they back chat, he's like, all right, we'll go on the rowing machine. You've got a K.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to back chat again.
Consequences.
Yeah.
Consequences, but healthy consequences.
And he even talks about it's like, he works with a few kids that have got autism or other sort of...
learning disabilities or whatever you want to call it. Yep.
But they just want to be treated like normal people. They want to be treated exactly the same as everyone else. And he's like, as soon as I do that, and, even if I am hard on them or I'm hard on everyone else, they thrive in that because they need that structure. They need that discipline to go, all right, well, this is where the boundary is. This is where I stop.
Yep.
And I was like, ever since I met him, I'm like, this is fantastic. Like whatever you need from me, whether it's legal stuff or whatever else, like I'll help you out, whatever you need to help grow it.
Good for you. And I guess it must feel really close to home for you if you're a kid who struggled at school and naughty boy who moved to the Gold Coast for a while, just like let loose. It must be really nice to be able to help in that way. And I think like that philanthropic side of what you do is incredible.
Yeah, it really hit home because I was like, if I had, even though I knew there was something else other than school, because I wasn't hands-on. I didn't really have a trade. Like I was smart. Like I could, obviously a lawyer, not to brag.
Yeah.
But, so like I was switched on and smart, but I just couldn't thrive in school, and I didn't want to go do a trade. And I'm like, well, what other options do I have? It's either a trade or stay at school. So obviously I chose the easier option per se. But if I knew something else was out there where I could go learn these skills, like, you know, they teach them how to cook, they take them out to the farm, they grow crops, I'm pretty sure they donate their farms to like one of the fruit and veg shops that gives the
That's
food away.
cool.
And I'm like, everything that is fantastic. Like, you're giving them actual life skills that they can learn. And I was like, that's amazing.
I feel like, it's funny, isn't it? How like everyone's so stuck in computers now and stuck in the digital world. And don't get me wrong, like I think being able to be in that world is obviously how I can run my business. And I think it's very powerful, but I think that people are just like losing the ability to do things with their hands or go outside or just experience the world. And it's quite scary and quite sad. Like it's just... So I think anything like that can give people like hands-on skills and something to focus on and get them off their fucking screens is like next level amazing.
Oh, exactly right. I'm definitely one of those people. I'm terrible with my hands, but it's funny. Like the older I've gotten,
who's my husband? Bless.
The older I've gotten, and like once I actually buy my own home, I'm like, I'd love to learn how to build shit. Like I watch a million videos now because I'm like, that's really cool. Like I'd love to do that DIY stuff and. Not that I'd probably be good at it, but I'm like, at least I'll have fun playing with it.
Hey, if I can restore furniture and I can do things around my house, you can do it around your house. Let me tell you, I love that stuff. I do so much stuff and I learn so much of it on YouTube.
Oh, exactly right.
It's incredible.
YouTube and TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, we did so much of our last renovation ourselves, especially all the demolition and hanging the plaster sheets and that sort of shit, because it was just like, well, I'm not like, you know, not to diss people in trades, but like sometimes it's like, if I can save this much money, then I will do it myself. You can always tell when it's done by yourself, but I think there's heaps of things you can learn. I think that's one of the blessed things about living in the digital era where you can just look that shit up online. Someone's done it before, they've posted it to YouTube. I can do that.
Yeah, there's even a whole channel of like, it's a dad. It's just like teaching you like basic stuff.
Yes, I've heard of him.
Basic stuff for men or something. It's like how to tie, how to do this. I was like, that's cool.
How to shave. Like, I was like, that's so fucking good for kids who don't have dads. And it's apparently really popular. I've heard of this. See, the internet is often for good as well. I love that. Thank you so much for like everything you've chatted about today. I'm like, I really, really love it. Do you have any like final advice or final words of wisdom or anything else that you want to share?
Let's see. Prevention's always cheaper than cleanup from a legal perspective, or actually in general.
Yep.
So see a lawyer. Don't let your business go under. And the thing is, like most law firms do offer initial consult. Like, you know, half the people you refer to me, I don't think any of them's actually gone beyond initial consult because I've been able to say, hey, just do this, this, and this. Like, it's probably not worth your my cost of actually jumping on board, but just do this, this, and this. You'll solve it. So even just simple things like that of just connecting with a lawyer and sorting it out first if you are trying to, either you're new in business or you're looking to scale. That's one of the really things I love is helping businesses scale and reach their full potential. Like one of my biggest clients, he's had like hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. So he cleared all that, sorted his contracts out, and now he's just opening up a second business. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to repeat that. Like, that's the perfect scenario.
Something else I wanted to make mention, though, too, with that actually is you've got like a library full of templates that people can just go in that are really affordable, like legal documents they can implement into their businesses, which is incredible and like such a cool way of reaching people. There's like contracts, there's even subcontracting things, there's like templates, there's all sorts of things in there too.
Yeah, I think there's about 80 documents. And yeah, it was one of those things I was like, oh, yeah, I'll spend so much time on it, create it, and I'll make heaps of sales from it. I'm like, I've sold 3 in the last 7 months. I'm like, not that. But
you need to direct people to that because it's actually so fucking cool. Like if people can just be like, oh, that's actually something that I need and download it and do it themselves, and that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's something I'm working on in the background to try and get it marketed again properly. I've just had a whole heap of things with the website that I'm trying to get redone to make it all look like that whole shop. Yeah, and just make a nicer looking shop so that people actually get on and go, oh, what is this shit, and click back off it. So I am working on that in the background because that's, my goal's always been, you know, whether it's the initial console, whether it's the templates or whether it's actually engaging, is I want people to walk away with some value, like that they haven't just wasted their time, that they can actually either have clarity or they can reach an outcome with me or without me. That's one of the big things I love about Odyssey Legal.
And I think that's it's a really like beautiful thing too, that you're like, I'm outcome driven, whether you get that with me or not. I still want you to have, like, I still wish you well and I still want you to do well and I still want you to sort this thing out too. That's awesome. And so we can find you on Instagram, Odyssey_legal, or Diary _of_ entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Share a bit of random
not too
stuff on there.
much happening on the diary one at the moment. I've kind of stepped it back to like once a week because at the end of the day, it was just supposed to be a diary of, a bit more behind the scenes. But I'm trying to slowly merge them together to have more of that stuff on the Odyssey Legal page so they get a bit more of that insight.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. I love that too.
And anywhere you can find Odyssey Legal, YouTube, like I'll be there. You'll find me.
I love that so much. I want to finish off today too. You had a bit of a story about your dad.
The grudge is still whole for the last 10 years.
Just can't let it go.
No, I'm still mad about it. Yeah, so my parents, or dad's background is like working in a like aluminium refinery, and he got an opportunity to work over in Louisiana, which is near New Orleans in America, for 2 years. And I think it was either the first or second year we did a Christmas over there. So it was like a whole month of traveling and seeing all different stuff while we were over there. Awesome. And he was telling us beforehand, because there's a guy he works with, and that he became friends with, that he's known as Little Tony. And he was having a barbecue with Little Tony before we came over. And mind you, Little Tony's house in the attic, just full of guns and ammunition. So if the house went up in flames, like it would blow up. That's the sort of person Little Tony is. Anyway, they was having a barbecue with Little Tony, and Little Tony's like, "Oh, you guys are," because we planned out the trip, we've had the schedule, flights and everything, we're booking. He's like, "Oh, you're looking at going to New York. Like I've got connections up there. Like they can give you a tour of the city and give you like a proper rundown of where to go and all this sort of stuff, and they'll be with you and all this sort of shit." And he was telling us that. I'm like, "So you had the opportunity to go through New York with the Mafia, and you said no?" I'm like, "They'd know all the best spots, and we'd be well protected." I'm like,
they would know all the best spots. They would have it to be such a cool thing to do.
I'm like, "That'd be so cool to go on my deathbed and be like, I had a tour around New York with the Mafia." I'm like, how many people would say that? And now you've just deprived me of that experience.
You've taken away this amazing experience that I would have loved to do. That is so funny.
I was like, yeah, I still hold that grudge. Every so often, I'm like, it would have been nice to have a nice Mafia experience, but I guess that never happened.
Seeing the real New York for what it actually is. How good.
Yeah, that would have been sick. Now, looking at it from a parent perspective, I could see why he said no, but I'm like, as a 21-year-old, I'm like, let's do it. That's sick.
Oh my God. Especially at 21 too. You would have just been enthralled.
I'd be like, get me a suit. I'll put on a hat. I'll be, Godfather. I'll be like, let's go.
I'll be whatever you want me to be.
Well, we're going to go whack this guy. Oh, okay, I suppose I have to now.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Well, fuck, I love that. I know I love when my guests have just like weird little stories, weird little obsessions like wolves and just like quirks and funny things. But thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you. I really love everything you're doing, and just keep going, keep doing it. I'm going to be watching you, content king, from the background.
Yeah, well, hopefully I can keep it up. I'm getting to the stage I'm getting sick of it. I need someone else to run it for me. But, no, thanks very much for having me on. I love these sort of chats where, it's not necessarily a podcast. You can just chat about random shit. It's
Rogan stuff. Just
so
talk about anything.
Yeah, I think you've nailed it, because there's so much more to people than just, business, mindset, this. It's like, yeah, I love wolves. It's a fucking weird thing, but I love it.
I think that there's, and not to pick on anyone else's podcast or anything like that, I'm obviously doing solo eps that are me talking about specific topics that are relevant or whatever. But I think like one of the best things about the relationships that I have is like just our weird friends and weird people in our lives that are just doing like the best stuff. And I think that even if you are a hairdresser in this specific niche of the world, like they might come on here and learn something really random and really cool from you that they're like, oh, that was really interesting. Or just like listening to weird stuff. Definitely, yeah. I like the way that
it is like lawyer loves wolves. Or adult loves Disney. I've got 3 more Disney parks to go to, then I've done them all.
Oh my God, do you really? I did not expect that from you.
I've always loved Disney since a kid. I've done Orlando, Hong Kong, and Japan Disney so far. So I've got like Shanghai, France, and LA to go.
Yeah. Last time I went to the LA one, I've been to that one twice, but last time I went to that one, they had half it shut down because they were doing all these like things. And I was like, cool, thanks for the discount ticket because I can't use half the things.
When I went to Japan, I went with like a few mates, but they're like, oh, what should we walk? I'm like, nah. Like, I know where I'm going. Like, ride. Get in before everyone else gets in, and then I can chill out and go to see Mickey and all that sort of shit. But I'm like, I've got my schedule. I know my plan. Like, I need to get in. So I end up just walking off and doing my own thing for the day.
I love that. I love that so much. LA's cool too. Like, you've got Universal Studios and you've got heaps over there. You've got California Adventure. There's like a whole heap of them sort of right within proximity of each other. But I'm like a fast-paced, like, adrenaline junkie, so I like anything like that, like roller coasters or like fast cars or just anything. So yeah, 100%, 100 miles an hour all the time. Anyway, that's how my head works. But oh my God, that's so funny, Disney boy. That's hilarious. Didn't pick it.
No one really even picks on my lawyer. So
Yes, I know. No, I love that. But yeah, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And, thanks for sharing your insights and just telling us a little bit about your life and sharing so much about that too.
No, thanks for letting me chat. I always love yap underwater at this stage.
I know. Awesome. Thanks so much, Damon.
Thanks, Pete.